Tony, how lit is that stadium going to be? What do you think the atmosphere is going to be like for this game?
I think it's going to be incredible, and I would venture to guess, Suze, that it's going to be like 75% Colombian fans. I mean, the Colombian population down there in Miami is incredible. They show out for every single game that team plays. It is messy, obviously, from an Argentinian standpoint. Tickets are scandalously high right now.
How much did you say the cheapest
I saw
was?
yesterday the cheapest remaining ticket was like $2,900 or something. Yeah, it goes up to like $5,400, and I'm like, that's tough to take a whole family to a game. but I mean, this is so cool. You can have the Messi story continue. You can have Colombia do something that they haven't done in forever, and they are like the darlings of this competition. James Rodriguez's story is incredible. Luis Diaz is like, I was going to ask, I forgot to ask you in the pre-pro, the Luis Diaz story, does he kind of remind you in this stage of how Neymar was coming up and the way that he plays and the way that he attacks defenders and the energy and the movement that he has? I kind of get that feeling from him, but he's been outstanding in this competition.
Not enough flair for me to make that comparison.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah.
In terms of the energy and consistency in every match, the impact he has, tremendous, right? So I look at this match, and where we've seen Argentina throughout this tournament, they haven't really controlled a game like we've seen them control games in the past, where they dictate the tempo. Everything flows through Messi. Messi has looked not fit, right? So can Messi, because we know Messi, does he come alive in this game? He looked a little bit better physically in the Canada semifinal, where he's able to move a little bit more explosive. But against Colombia, he needs to be on. You can't play like he did it in the group stages in the knockout round. So for me, if we see a Messi who's sharp and fit, and then it comes down to, I think Julian Alvarez was the better of between him and Lautaro Martinez. He gives you a little bit more because of his movement and how active he is with his runs and creating space. But this is going to be an incredible match. I think Munoz with the red card, that's going to be a big miss for Colombia. He's been sensational at right back. So it's going to come down to who can control the midfield, because in the transition game, Colombia is exceptional, and if Messi has space, then it could give a lot of problems to Colombia.
Yeah. Out of all my storylines, like between Euros and Copa America, for me, Colombia has been my favorite. And it reminds me why I love international football so much. Like, watch Colombia play. The fight and the spirit that they put for their jersey, for their people, and they dealt with a lot of adversity. They were in a group with Brazil that they topped. They beat Uruguay. They were down to 10 men as well. Their own fault, okay, yes. But I love the attitude. And I've also fallen in love with the storylines. I mean, Diaz has maybe 3 or 4 lungs, and nobody understands because of how much he's running. And then James Rodriguez, who has been doing this for a decade, and you see him crying after the match, saying, for 13 years I've been waiting for this moment. And Colombia goes to a final for the first time in 23 years. And for everything that he's given, I would love to see him lift a trophy for his country. In 5 games that Colombia played, he was man of the match.
I'd love to see him come to MLS.
After. Let him win on Sunday.
Yeah, and then you all in on James Rodriguez.
Where?
You literally, you could pick probably 5 places. I mean, any of the Florida teams, Atlanta, New York, any of the New York teams.
33 today, right?
Don't the Reds need a striker?
James?
Yeah.
James is a 10.
Well,
nah, we got Carlos.
As long as he has freedom wherever he goes.
You could figure out a place for James Rodriguez in any situation, but in terms of maximizing a stadium and an area, this is such a gifted player. I mean, it's crazy that he hasn't been able to succeed at a number of his clubs since Real Madrid, right? So you see kind of this downfall trajectory with in his club form, and now with the national team, it's the opposite. It feels like Colombia, he's comfortable. Everyone knows how he plays. He has this role of almost like a Riquelme, how he was with Argentina. Just a phenomenal player, one that you want to root for.
It's also funny because there's certain players that they put on their national team jersey and it's too heavy and they can't perform. And with their club teams, they do incredible. Think about Ciro Immobile, for example, for the Italian national team. James Rodriguez is the complete opposite. He wears it, and it's like a superhero cloak. He turns into this player that he transforms you and takes you back to time for what he's able to do. So I've fallen in love with the Colombia story.
You know, it's amazing because he is a number 10 but he's one of those guys that we're kind of phasing out in world football.
True.
The free guy, like the guy that you don't necessarily, Messi's one of those guys, you don't necessarily ask him to defend all that much because you're happy on the attacking side of things with what he gives you, right? So you give a little bit on the defensive side to take the beauty of his game, but that role in world football is like going away, and we're almost done with it in so many ways. It's almost scary, right? Because if you think about kind of when we grew up playing, all of us, right? There was a role for the number 10. There was the one guy,
right?
What's that?
Valderrama.
Valderrama. You didn't ask him to run. You know, you didn't ask those guys. You didn't ask Maradona to run. You just asked him when he got the ball just to do magic all the time. But that role's going up. But that story's amazing. James Rodriguez, how he's done it. By the way, didn't Atlanta United just get rid of a number 10? Just saying. I'm thinking about your.
Hey, I'm just saying.
They've got some money to.
They're trying to get Milan Chuk right now from Atalanta.
Think about it. Well, it was Giacomakis, Almada, and then Caleb Wiley was rumored to go to Chelsea. So they're going to have an influx of cash.
The fans are going to show off for James anywhere that he goes.
He'll fill stadiums.
Easy.
Get on the horn, Chuck.
Yeah.
Let him win on Sunday, and then they make the deal. It's going to be a little bit more expensive.
Okay, so Charlie, you said the midfield is going to be the area of importance in this match. The match will be won in the midfield. Do you agree with that, Marco?
The only time that I've seen Argentina struggle defensively is within those transitions.
Yeah.
So I think that's Colombia's best opportunity to try to hurt this Argentina side, right? Argentina, you want to talk about quality, they would win this game 8 times out of 10, 9 times out of 10. But with the attitude, with the spirit, with the concentration, I think if they could pick up those balls in key spots, that's where they hurt an Argentina side who, for the most part, besides maybe their last game against Canada, has been pretty underwhelming. And most Argentinians would even admit that this has not been their best tournament. But then the flip side is you could say they haven't had to play that superstar team. Yeah,
and you look at Rodrigo de Paul, how great he's been in not only breaking up plays and that when we talk about the fight and also the intelligence of knowing when to go down and when to get under the skin of an opponent. But his delivery, I think, has improved tremendously this year, both the Atletico Madrid as well as the national team. And then you look at your favorite player there, Alexis McAllister, in the midfield. He's been probably Argentina's best player throughout every match.
Been the steadiest for sure.
After Debo.
Yeah.
Which is who would you give the advantage to in terms of midfield, but also the keeper?
Debo is.
Yeah,
he goes to penalties.
Done it. And you mentioned transition, and we saw against Canada, they looked a little frail sometimes when Canada got at Argentina, but they've only given up 1 goal in this competition, which I think we kind of get away from because we just think of Argentina, they're going to score goals and they're going to attack, and they've got Messi and all that stuff. But, I mean, we all know, like, you go to these competitions, giving up, not conceding goals is generally the key to winning these things.
Well, Colombia has only given up 2.
Yeah.
So
teams have caused them problems, Argentina, like Chile, even if they didn't score.